Hello, buddies. God, I did not mean for this live stream to be so late. But here we are. I meant to start it much earlier, but you lay down for a second. You think you're just gonna, you know what I mean? You think you're just resting your joints. And then you blink a little too hard. You ever blink a little too hard? What happened to me? Alright. Make sure everything's working. Ooh. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna be reading again, Arc 5. Here we go. I got it. Quote, when Jesus had crossed again in the boat to the other side, a great crowd gathered around him, and he was by the sea. Then one of the leaders of the synagogue, named Jairus, came, and, when he saw him, fell at his feet and pleaded with him repeatedly, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her, so that she may be made well and live." So he went with him, and a large crowd followed him and pressed in on him. Now there was a woman who had been suffering from a flow of blood for 12 years. She had endured much under many physicians, and had spent all that she had. She was no better, but rather grew worse. She had heard about Jesus, and came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak. For she said, "If I but touch his cloak, I will be made well." Immediately her flow of blood stopped, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her disease. Immediately aware that power had gone forth from him, Jesus turned about in the crowd and said, "Who touched my cloak?" And his disciples said to him, "You see the crowd pressing in on you. How can you say, 'Who touched me?'" He looked all around to see who had done it. The woman, knowing what had happened to her, came in fear and trembling, fell down before him, and told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace, and be healed of your disease." While he was still speaking, some people came from the synagogue leader's house to say, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" But, overhearing what they said, Jesus said to the synagogue leader, "Do not be afraid, only believe." He allowed no one to follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. When they came to the synagogue leader's house, they saw a commotion, people weeping and wailing loudly. When he had entered, he said to them, "Why do you make commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him. Then he put them all outside, and took the child's father and mother, and those who were with him, and went in where the child was. Taking her by the hand, he said to her, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, get up." And immediately The girl stood up and began to walk about. At this, they were overcome with amazement. He strictly ordered them that no one should know this, and told them to give her something to eat. Well, would you look at that? Something I'm noticing on this reading is, I mean, that's his first priority. Like, presumably she's good and well and healthy, but his concern is for her to be fed. The first thing he does is, make sure that she gets fed. Is that for a purely practical reason? Is it? Might be for reasons that are, a little less intuitive to us. But let me boot up my game deving. Gosh. Oh, gee. Alright. Hello. What are we looking to work on today? Something I'm not sure. Run. Yeah. 0 or 1. But actually, and I should open Blender. Where's my Blender? Oh yeah, the music. Must have been so awkward. Here you guys go. Okay. Now let's make you maybe 5. Now there it is. We did that. What am I gonna do? Those. And get rid of it. All right. Make that a little less strict. So strange. What? Ding, ding. Wondering why. Why does blending this more make it slower? That makes no. Trying to understand. Hmm. What's good? Is that Imura? Just working on some... I forgot to set up my little chat. But what's good, buddy? What's good, friendo? We're just working on boring animation stuff right now. There we go. Now where was I? I want to get this... I want this to become like, I don't know, I guess consistent looking? Boring but good? I got you. Oh. The nature of this live stream is pretty boring. So I'm just filming out for game deving, making a video game. I don't know if I call this talk. So the goal we have right now is I want to, how do I say it? When you're holding the high profile button, I want your walk speed to be a little higher in order to communicate to you that you're in that state. My goal. Now doing this didn't work. Still not sure why, but it didn't work. Uh-oh. It works here. How's it? Am I crazy? Let me get a better OSP. I like this one. Because I do the same thing for my run animation, and it seems to work like just fine. There. Yeah, it does work. I'm developing a little Minecraft AFK bot for use on my Skyblock server. That sounds fun. I see a lot of people making, I mean, it's obviously not this game, but I see a lot of people making like Minecraft clones and just whatever like tools they're used to. And I've thought about doing something kind of like that in Raylib, just to say I did. There's actually something very neat. Let me try to find it. This dude. Saw this a while ago, and this is, it's Minecraft. It's like a GameCube port of Minecraft. I thought that this was really cool, and like looking over here, like it's good to me. And apparently they're still working on it. That'd be a good idea to put on a stream. I got you. I'll try to be not distracted. We're not like loud. This is coded by you? Yes. You can tell it's made by me because it's made in a very, very specific way. I don't know if you're familiar with Godot, but what the engine wants you to do is like take all these like little nodes here, and it wants you to like attach scripts to them. I don't like that way because I have a more like normal background, like not like programming outside of a video game. So the way I opt to do things is just through, I have one quote-unquote script, and then I just I have a clean separation between my data and my behavior. And I found it to be like this is definitely preferable, in my opinion, to the way Godot wants you to use it. And I did try to do things their way, but like there's just so many, like they have a whole like signal system they call it, um, and to the best of my understanding, that whole signal system is just like cope. It's just coping with the fact that you need to do complex logic and you need to have states communicate to each other and you need to arbitrarily, get information from one thing to another. But that's very difficult in like a very contained, like object oriented type environment. But that's just me. I do appreciate that you think that's incredible. It's a good compliment. What am I trying to do? What I'm trying to do is looking for blend, and there's one that should be where am I? Ah, here it is. Okay. Good walk. We'll set this way up here. And we're gonna have you be the walk. So let's see. That was completely superfluous. I'm too new at programming. There's people that will try to like impress you and make it look harder than it really is. I haven't been doing this for a very long time, but I can assure pretty much anyone, even like the biggest like fat dumbest gorilla in the world, it's like not even that hard. It's actually pretty easy. It's very intuitive compared to all the alternatives that I see. Now what is hard is like actually making all of these logic gates. But that's not a programming problem, that's just a logical thinking problem. But let's see if we got something that we want. I pressed the walk button. Did not get what we want. Why? I know why, I'm so dumb. Let's walk. So now our walk should go faster when we hold a high profile. Does. Does. It looks really good. Thank you. It's supposed to look, there's a game that I'm taking inspiration from called Garage. I really like the way that 3D renders looked like a while ago. I think it's very pretty. Like, this has been my favorite game like for like the past year. This has been like my favorite game, and it's so pretty in my opinion. Obviously though, this is pre-rendered and I'm trying to do something technologically similar but in real time. Now, one thing I need to figure out is we have this high profile button, but it interrupts like certain things you want to do. So I need to figure out a way to limit your jump. Yes. So that you don't do it on accident, because I'm constantly doing it on accident. Oh. Oh yeah, I need to fix that geometry. Let's... I found it. This Pikmin 2. Trying to think, what could I do for jumping? Obviously, it would be when you release. This is the big thing. This is the big kicker. Ah, happy time. It's all sunshine and rainbows. Sunshine and rainbows. Ding, 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 ding. Can you open Undertale song? Yeah, let's see what I got. I got this one. I got a variety. The white boy keeps a variety. Ooh. Ah. Just thinking out about this jump. The jump itself doesn't feel bad, but it does feel bad to do it on accident. Are you sleepy? I am. I have a complicated relationship with sleep right now. I slept when I didn't mean to, and I'm very upset about it. But I did like just wake up. This will organize my thoughts. There we go. All right. I keep tuning in. Could I possibly do some playtesting? That would be awesome, yeah. You have a... I don't know if I linked it in Dick. There's like a Discord you could join, and I don't know when I'm gonna do... I don't know like when I'm gonna release another build of the game. Maybe sometime this month. Maybe at the beginning of next month. But I do release builds on there, and there are some already. Although the ones that are there are kind of old at this point. But that would be the place where I do that. Sorry, I'm like trying to think about this input thing. We'll be waiting. Well, it's kind of creeping up faster than I want it to. But I appreciate your appreciation for the live stream. So the problem that I'm thinking about in my head is I track the consumption of your state. So for example, a reason that this is needed is because the E button is like a Half-Life 2. It's like an interact button. Now there's two things that the C button can do. It can either interact with an interactable, like so. You know, you interact with the pot, this little animation, you interact with this, blows up the candle. But it can also do this. Where this is just kind of how I show, like, I introduce the game. Now that's kind of a more debuggy example, but the reason that a buffer is needed is because I need to know when to do these things. So for example, if I didn't have consumption on my inputs, what would happen, I would press E on this pot here, and it would simultaneously open the pot and bring up this, you know, text box, which is not desirable. Now, one little problem with my system right now for consumption is that there is no recognized difference between consuming any kind of input. So for example, if I pull is pressed, this is pressed input, it'll get consumed. And then is just pressed will be it'll be consumed, even though logically I wouldn't want it to. Same thing would go for these three. So these three are all sharing a single assumption, but I don't want that. That's not good. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. Hello, Gridim on YouTube. How are you doing, Gridim? It's been a little bit. It's been a little bit. I'm really annoyed with myself right now. It frustrates me so much that I've found someone as great as you. Yet I can barely understand because my English, I have to use a translator. I see. I'm not that great. I'm just... I don't know. English is pretty rough. It's a rough language. You don't like already know it. I'm just not sure. I'm like thinking about this, but I didn't work at my English and so many studying. It is true, it is popular. I think I mean, in general, it's not as bad as some people say it is. Like, English is a hard language, but my experience is that people who speak English are, like, usually pretty lenient. Like, if they don't know what you're saying, then they'll, like, try to figure it out. At least that's what I do. That's what everyone who I know does. A few days ago, I graduated ranked second in the university and second in my department. Nice. What was the degree for? What was the schooling for? It's my first and only language, and I still have a hard time with it. I mean, there's a lot of little things that you know that if you were like on the outside, it would be kind of hard to get. Computer programming for 2 years, I see. Like one thing, Gradine, that you probably don't even like think about at all is the word do. Do is a very weird word in English. Like sometimes we just, I don't know. I'm just like thinking of examples like, do you like this? Like why do we say, do you like this? What does do mean in that sentence? What is the meaning of that word? Do as in do. Do is a very weird word and it can be very arbitrary. It isn't arbitrary, it does have an etymology, but it can feel very arbitrary. All of these words do have etymologies that like ultimately make sense, but they're not readily apparent. Like why do we say do you like this? What are you doing? Do. You're very mature, Gradine. Very much. You know, you really are. You're being a demon lord today, aren't you? And you're being a demon lord. Ah. Oh, my buddy joined. Look at that. And everyone, welcome our newest moderator, Lurid, our newest moderator. Woo! Woo! Axe. Every man a moderator. There is no chump change. There is no chump change. I wonder. I don't know a lot about Kick. I wonder if you could make someone a moderator on Kick. I'm sure there's a way, but I just don't know how. what I think I'm gonna do right now is, instead of making this just is released, I'm gonna also check the state of you like running. The state of you running. So we're gonna say if this is greater than 0.8. Nice facts. We'll say I do like these Undertale OST. Now, why did that happen? I was wondering, why is the Discord server so minimal? Do you like it that way, or did you just not want to put in the effort? There used to be more to it, like more like broad channels. But it is a preference thing. I don't like it when there's like a bunch of stuff. Like, especially because people don't talk that much in my Discord. I feel like putting a bunch of channels would just like, I don't know, like, what's the point of having all these channels? That's something I notice all the time. Like every time my friend like invites me to their server or whatever, I go in there and there's like usually one or two like chats that are like active, and then every other one is just completely dead, and there's like no reason to ever do anything in them. Makes sense. Like, it kind of annoys me to see it get so bloated. What is your favorite Undertale OST? Do you mean specifically Undertale? Let me see. There's one area in that game that has really pretty music. I don't know if I have it in that playlist. Is it this? There's like an area with like blue flowers that has really pretty music. That's my order. I see. Hold on, let me find this. Flower field, is this it? No, that's not this one. Let me. Not specifically Undertale? I see. Oh, not that one. There's like one where you're like, there's an area. Now I want to find it because now I want now I want to listen to it. Waterfall? This one. This is my favorite. I need to download this like immediately. My folder. I just have like a notepad with a bunch of like songs and stuff that I need to download. I can't just download them on stream because it would destroy the live stream, and also I need to like tune their volume individually so that all of the songs in the playlist are the same volume so I don't have to adjust it constantly. My favorite's his theme. We can put that on. We can put that on after this. Now I'm wondering why is it doing the jump anyway? Because the run blend amount should be 0. 0. We need to like track this variable. I see. Alright. Let me put on the Gradim OST. I know this one. Oh yeah, now I know the problem. The good part came. I like this one. I didn't know it had a. I didn't know this. It had like drums and stuff. It's a very emotional OST. I see it. Oh gee, what's his ability? What, this little manta ray? It just kind of flies around and right now it's like a teleporter kind of, but uh at some point in the future I want to make it more like a cruise guy, like a cruise missile, I guess. Because you know, because that um and I worked for a long time on this kind of like jumping, like hopping system. Um, and I did notice that like when I let you just do this, when I let you do this, it does kind of you know, there's not a lot of reason to run around if you can just fly around. So I think it makes sense to make this more of an like an observation, I guess, like an observation tool, and less of a movement tool like in itself. Especially if you played the pacifist route. I don't want to sound like a big edgelord, but I never played the pacifist route in Undertale. I remember playing one neutral run, and the one I got like some part through a genocide run, and that was a really long time ago. Like a really long time ago. I want to listen to this other song again. I really like this one. The Glockenspiel. What am I thinking? I know. The pacifist route was my first playthrough, and then I did genocide. How do you even... You had to have a guide to do that. You didn't do that. I don't think you did that naturally, Gradim. I think you had a guide. That's like the one thing I don't really like about Undertale. I guess it's like a criticism. I don't know. It's just that like all the meat in the game is only there if you like already know the game like from a YouTube video or something. Like playing the game blind is not that interesting. Put these OSTs back on. What am I thinking? I think we should consider this whole section. So this is my old code. As you can see, it doesn't work in Asthma. If player dot, what am I looking for? If the run blend amount is less than and if it's greater than almost 1, the pacifist, hold on, I didn't use a guide. I always go through every nook and cranny of games. And I like looking at the choices. It looked like there was going to be multiple endings, so I went pacifist first. I don't know, Gritty. It's not the end of the world if I don't believe you. You know, your life isn't over if I don't believe you. And I don't think that this, I don't mean to knock at your gamer cred. I still have faith in your gamer cred. I don't believe for a second that there's a single person in the entire world who blind their first playthrough got the pacifist, like one of the special endings. And seems kind of right. I mean, believe what you will, I'm just saying what I went through. I mean, yeah, it's fine. You know? I'm not the most important guy in the world. I do believe that you went through every nook and cranny. I do believe that. I do feel like you have a slower pace. What am I thinking? And we could just test to see if this works. Right, so what's going on? If it's less, no, it has to be greater. Um, What am I thinking? Have movement input. You do need movement input. By pressing action 3. Alright. So important. I don't want to put like a timer tracker. That's the thing. My dog Theo is starting to wake up. Okay. See this. You awake, Dio? Oh. Alright. The doggy is outside. I'm gonna make this like 1.5. Now that we have this value, now we're gonna use it. How are we going to use it, you might ask? Simple. What cap amount greater than 1 and how do I put this? Needs to be greater than walk in, but it has to be less than max. Let's see how that feels. Now, why are you still going on? Walk cap is greater than less than walk cap. I'm thinking of something wrong here. Literally half. What? Ooh. Talk about emotional. This is an emotional OST gradient. This is a very emotional OST. Hit input. And I'm doing my job. What's good this spell? Welcome. Thank you for doing that. I noticed. This is one of the safest live streams in the whole world, isn't it? What I'm confused by is why. What's going on here? Why is this not working out? This number has to be greater than nothing. Honestly, I don't think it's. Made a new friend today, Dispel. A new moderator. If China cyber attacks you, you're on your own. I side with the motherland. You think I would have a problem with what you're saying, but I agree. Let me show you where my loyalty is. This is where my loyalty is. This area here. This is the Chicago time zone. This is what I care about. If it's not in here, I don't care. And you might even see this little part of Texas. This little part of Texas worships Satan. El Paso worships Satan. Not even joking. Now, why do I bring that up? I bring that up because just like, look at this. This is the time zone. This is what a time zone looks like in China. Right? This is what a time zone looks like in China. This is like the same shape pretty much. This is like the same thing. Like it looks pretty much identical. Like you have California over here. You have New York. Like this is like Long Island. Though China's is a little longer. You have like Florida down here. You have Texas. Like they have, it's the same place. This is metaphysically, this is the exact same location. That's crazy because that's literally the part of America I'm trying to get nuked. The spell, I know you too well. I know you too well that you would not launch a nuclear weapon. You would not launch a nuclear bomb. Not at an innocent. Maybe at a non-innocent. Maybe at something that is not innocent. So it has to be less than 1.5. Okay. I see. I used to want to start two nonprofits and advertise them side by side. One is typical Save the Rainforest BS, and the other is Nuke the Rainforest. My plan to get money from everyone? I would personally just stick with the Nuke the Rainforest one because that's the one that's like actually ethical. Like that's the one, you know. That's the one that's actually like morally good to do. So that makes sense to me. Noted. No, because this is like the. I promise, I'm not a big, you know, named constant cell. Like it's people bitch about magic numbers all the time. I'm not a big constant cell, but this is an instance where it's actually useful. Gotta make that equals. Now, the reason this is useful is because it is actually the same value, and I'm reusing it somewhere else. So it actually makes sense. I just think it would be funny to go into a grocery store and instead of Girl Scouts, it's Nuke the Rainforest. Um, I mean, yeah, I would prefer to see that. I'm 100% down with nuking a rainforest. I have no I don't have any attachments to the ecosystem. There's no point. Is this like a puzzle action game? Not puzzle really. Action, like kinda. I don't know. You could say it's action. The focus is not on the action. Part of my goal actually is, you're doing like this very over the top explosion, right? Like you're nuking these kiwi birds. Part of the goal is to make that experience kind of boring and I guess just like not noteworthy. Because this is not something you're doing, this is like your job. Narratively, this is just your job. Um, I did have. I mean, I've always had like a vague idea, but the idea of what I want is slowly becoming less and less vague. And I did have like kind of a little like revelation not that long ago that specified more of what I want out of the. Because, right, so far, all you guys have really seen me work on is like the dungeon part of the game. Um, but there's supposed to be more to it than that. And this dungeon part is just like the part where you're moving around, like doing game. Is this your magnum opus? No, kind of. Um, how many years until launch? It depends. It might be. Might end up being. But the reason I say kind of is because I have more ideas about what I want to do after this game that would be more like important to me theoretically. Right now, this is like the most important thing I care about. But Magnum Opie, I guess that's like a way to, yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right. I think that for now this I'm like kind of satisfied. Now, other thing, and another thing, you're ugly. One other thing I wanted was what happens when you're not touching it. Where am I handling? Good fall. Okay. So we're gonna put a honestly do this. And then oh yeah, we don't have a run state anymore. We have to figure this out. Welcome. We're gonna do if is, what is it? Greater than 5. Ding, 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 ding. Like, I'm not like putting a huge amount of mental into it, because I'm putting most of my mental into what I'm doing right now. But after I'm done with this game, I have an idea for a game I could do in Raylib that will be comparatively simple, but which would expand on the stuff that I theoretically learned doing this game. Which is to actually make something that's like a Pikmin 2 clone. And to actually make a... Said you're not divorced, but unfianced. How old? I am... You're right, I am under 24. Should I just say how old I am? But yeah, I am under 20. I'm under 22. Under 22. I think that's the most, not under 18. Between 18 and 22 is the range I can give. That's a range I feel alright giving for now. That's so young? I mean, one man's kiddo is another man's unk. You know what I mean? One man's kiddo is another man's unk. No. Not. No. Why? I'm so fucking stupid. Oh my god. Why did I even think this? What is wrong with me? God. I'm not excited for the stream to be over, but when it is over, I'm just gonna go like straight. Well, no, because I forgot I have to go to... Okay, when the stream is over and then I have to go to church, then I'll go home from that and I'll be ready to sleep. Bring this up because I want to say you dodged a bullet. That's crazy young to get married. I mean, I would do it again. I don't have any, like, regrets. I mean, there is things I would do differently. But it was kind of just a crazy situation that made it, like, end poorly. But I'm not mad at it. Not mad at anyone. Okay, I am kinda mad at a couple people. Hasn't learned his lesson. I mean, the problem was the problem never had anything to do with like age. Like she was what, 20 at the time, but she would have been like 23. She was a little older than me, but so I guess that like maybe that compensated, but it wasn't like, I don't think that was a problem. I think too many people, me giving relationship advice like fresh out of losing one, but I do think too many people are like searching for true love. When I look around me, and I see like what actually works and what is actually successful, and I pull from my own experiences, it seems to me that the best relationships are the ones where like the people don't even like whoever's involved, like they don't even like each other that much. Like how can you, I say you, I just mean oneself. How can one expect a relationship to really last when it is contingent upon you, not just you continually liking their personality, but also their personality not changing? Um, that's like that's 2 points of failure that are very, very easy to trigger. You know what I mean? So I don't really think you have to like make sure like, oh, you have to make sure she's the one. You do have to make sure that she's like mentally stable, I guess, and isn't gonna like put you in a bad financial situation for no reason. But like there's practical things to care about. But as far as personality goes, like that doesn't really matter. And like you might think like the way that you love your family, or maybe your family loves you. A revelation I had when I was pretty young, and it kind of tore me up, was that like my family, if I was not my mother's son, my mom would not like me. I'm like exactly the kind of person that she hates, and if she knew me, she would like talk shit about me. And that kind of made me sad for a while. But what I realized later on is that means that it's an actual like more authentic form of love that she has for me. That the love she has for me is not contingent upon whatever set of personality traits I happen to have, but rather actually who I am. And who I am to her is her son. That's who I am. It's very like self-centered and somewhat narcissistic of us to assume that who we are, quote unquote, is tied to our personality. And I say that all of that to justify that I don't think it's really a bad idea to get married quick if that's like the reasonable and practical thing to do, and you know that she's gonna like whoever you're with is like going to agree with that. And it's also like, I'm not trying to do any Bible beating, but people do view the like, oh, what, no sex until marriage? Like they view that as like an insane Christian fundamentalist thing that is like completely impossible to deal with. But with the context that you're kind of supposed to get married fairly quickly, it's really not that bad. And honestly, I think a lot of these people would benefit from like having their relationship start, you know, and then like you wait like about what 6-8 months, like assuming perfect conditions, like you wait a little bit before that happens, and it's like, as you say, no sex until marriage. The default like way that we think about it, the default way I thought about it, I was in like middle school was, oh, you wait like 4 years? You wait 4 years? And that sounded crazy to me. Not to imply that 6 months, 6-8 months, a year, that's like still kind of a long time. But that's a long enough amount of time that I do find it like pretty reasonable. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can see how that would be beneficial to a relationship. Like you make sure that you're not just make sure that you're not just like sexually codependent and like basically like mutually raping each other for half a year. Like that adds up to me. Are you raised religious? Not at all. Not at all. I've always had like influences, but not from any of my parents or like family. But it's like, I mean, I think it's a lot of people. Maybe a nice way to describe it is like my family's kind of like pagan, I guess, where like I'm the only one that really cares about going to church, and I'm the only one who like would, you know, care about defending religion at all. But then they do still have all these like holdouts. You know, they do like still they act religious even though intellectually they are not. Which, you know, that's not for me to judge. I mean, the scriptures themselves say the way that you judge others is the way you will be judged yourself. So I was raised religious and I'm not. I noticed that. I think like the way that we're raised, we're exposed, because a lot of the time when like you're a kid, people talk down to you. That was the experience I had, was people talking down to me. And I can imagine being a kid and like being religious, and like the two experiences I see the most often are either some kind of religious abuse, which I think, you know, I think for a reasonable person, religious abuse is not like that good of a reason to like stop. Because every single time someone like talks it, like I get that, you know, you get traumatized, like people get traumatized and it like makes them mentally ill. But you know, it made them mentally ill, so they can't think about it clearly. And then the other thing that happens is that you're raised religious, but like your parents aren't. I don't mean you, I just mean one, like theoretically a person. You're raised religious, but your parents are not really that religious. It's just kind of like an aesthetic choice, and they don't really understand it that well. And then you have all these questions, and they don't get answered, and you just assume, okay, my parents couldn't answer it, Aster couldn't answer it, my whatever, like all these authorities in my life could not answer these questions that I had as like a tween or a teenager. It must be that these people just don't have answers. It must be that they're just making stuff up. It must be that they're that the answers aren't there. I had a lot of questions about God at like age 8 and decided it wasn't for me. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's very unfortunate, you know. I mean, I complain about that all the time, just in my personal life. Being surrounded by people who are just, like, fundamentally not curious. Which is mean to say, but it's true. No, that's wrong. What am I doing? Where was it? Over here. It's a real problem. Yeah, like, and it happens the other way too. Like a lot of, I can pretty readily admit that a lot of like Christian polemics against like atheism just fundamentally doesn't understand what atheism actually is. A lot of it like does not make a meaningful does not meaningfully distinguish between actual like historical atheism and just like kind of like modern like feel good agnosticism. Like they'll do that. That's just mistake number one, is completely misidentifying who you're interacting with. And then like a lot of the polemics against atheism don't even realize like where these people are coming from. Like, and I think that's like probably the best. That's probably one of the best things. Well, of course I'm saying this like in the through the idea of like, oh yeah, it's fundamentally good to convert people. But like if the goal is converting people, one of the best things you can do for an atheist is ask them to like, okay, why don't you study the history of atheism and like how like what exactly are you following, because you didn't just make this up yourself. Like you had to be, this idea doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It exists historically. Um, and I think like when you study these things historically, it's pretty undeniable that atheism is a Christian movement. Like a Muslim atheist and a Christian atheist are not at all the same thing. Those are two very different kinds of atheists. A Muslim atheist, I would, from my experience and what little I know, which I'll admit it's more of a political movement than a religious one. I was going to start a for-profit news site that blends right-wing nationalism with Christianity and the Bible. There's already so many of those. I mean, it's a good way to make money, but the market's pretty saturated. I don't know. Name one. Here, let me open up Twitter. Let me open up Twitter. Okay, so this is open up Twitter. This is the first account I've seen. This is one. This is definitely one of them. This is definitely one of them. Catholic, monarchist, Orthodox, cross. This is absolutely, like, it took me, like, the first one you could say that's a bit of a stretch, but it's like, come on. I had to scroll down two. I had to scroll down by two before I found one. I didn't, it made me I'm kind of sad now. I didn't think it would be like that quick. Those are too hip and cool. I'm looking for boomer money. I don't think boomers would be your target audience, honestly. Boomers are too open-minded. Like, the stuff boomers watch like crazy stuff. Like the way that you attract boomers is with like just AI generating the most like insane stuff that you possibly can, and then just like lying. That's really the only thing that gets boomers these days, is you have to lie. Because anything that's real is not good enough, and they can't tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. So it's pretty it's a pretty ineffective strategy to not lie. What I'm doing, every single logical fallacy rolled into one. Like, I know a few boomers. I said a few. Well, I do know a few boomers total, but I know 2 boomers, and I don't think it's a coincidence. And I know 2 boomers, and this is like what they consume. This is like where they get, you know, information. I do not at all endorse this lady. This lady is insane. She's probably not insane, she's probably just a liar. But, you know. I mean, the Bible says make a friend of mammon, so, you know, get your bread, lady. But, if you want to figure out, like, what boomers like, you know, look at this lady. This is how you make money from boomers. But it's not the same world that we grew up in. When I say that, I mean I'm not entirely confident that boomers are like the people group to take advantage of now. To me, it seems like Gen X. Gen X is the new boomers. And how do you get to them? You have to do a lot to get to them. They're not ooh. You cannot get to them ethically. You definitely have to do some crazy thing to appeal to a Gen X old head. They have all the wealth, but where is the wealth gonna get? Where's the wealth going? The wealth is all funneling right now into Gen X. It's also funneling into like the Millennial Reich, which is coming. Statistically medical, that is true. I will say a lot of the money is dying with them. You're right about that. Most like a good portion of the money is dying with them, but what's left over is going to the Millennial Reich and to Gen X. And you know, Gen X is what's gonna make up a certain. I don't know how much I can talk about. I don't want to get banned from Twitch. Why do you say Reich? Because that's what they are. That's the 2036. In 2036, I say to vote for me in 2036, and I'm gonna make a lot of good things happen. But in 2036, I'm going to be running against like the supreme leader of the Democratic Republican Party, the resurrected Democratic Republican Party of Thomas Jefferson, led by Gavin Newsom, who his campaign against me is that he will like reinforce slavery. He will reinforce it's gonna be slavery, but Starbucks. Slavery, but Starbucks. Will mog you? Maybe, maybe. Actually, I believe that that's true. Reverse slavery? It'll just be regular slavery, actually. It will be regular slavery again, but it'll be branded as new because there will be a Starbucks next to it. And then like that's gonna be the Antichrist that brings everything together. Is, you know, some people they get their slavery and some people they get Starbucks. There's gonna be like safe what? There's gonna be yoga classes for the slaves. You know that slave owners were the 1%? That's true. And let me just look something up really quick. I want to make sure I'm not wrong about this. Most white people fighting in the Civil War fought because they bought the ideology of being better than others. Yep, so it's a little far off from 1%. It's a little far off from 1%, but this should you know, 4% of the population. And really it's just 1% of that 4%, so 4% of the population with, you know, the remaining 96% at their behest. That's what I'm running against in 2036. Do you think our founding fathers were rich? I mean, they were. uh, they were still like, I mean, historically they were a progressive force, you know, but there's no like, I don't have any qualms with them being rich. Point is that all of the worst aspects of any individual like movement or person that you see today, it's all gonna coalesce into one thing. It's gonna seem like the best of all worlds, and it's really gonna be the worst of all worlds. I do actually think that there's pretty good reason. It's pretty reasonable at this point to say that we live in like the worst timeline. Like I think a lot about like those kind of like teenage like dystopian novels, like 1984. That's the one everyone talks about. Like that would kind of be a preferable situation to be in, because at least if you're like in that kind of dystopia, then you can like kind of romanticize your suffering a little bit. You could like romanticize your suffering and like make, derive some meaning from it. But we have like the cringe dystopia coming in. My uncle keeps saying that the society in the future is that white people will be slaves to black people. Some of them, some of them absolutely. I can definitely name a few for whom that will be the case. But um I think your uncle means something a little more straightforward than what I'm saying. What do you feel about age verification laws? I mean, generally that seems like a bad idea. It seems like a First Amendment violation at least. I live in Cali and they're trying to ban VPNs. The dystopia is obvious, you're justified to rebel. Yeah, I see that. That makes sense to me. Or even like even if you don't rebel, like I don't even if you don't, if you're in like an overt like bad situation, and even then, like you look at the setting of 1984, and I don't know, it seems they have pretty stable lives to me. You know, it doesn't seem they're that worried about paying rent. I don't see a lot of debt collecting in that book. We do have the Second Amendment, so if we beat the U.S. military, history is written by the victor. I mean, historically speaking, who's to say the U.S. military isn't gonna beat? Who's to say that they're not gonna that's one cohesive entity? They'd wipe anyone. That's true, but typically the way that these collapses of society work is that there are internal contradictions in them, which then bring about a collapse, and then there's pretty much zero examples of like a truly popular revolution where it's just like people just start like rioting and whatever, and then the government collapses somehow for some reason. Usually what happens is that an unstable government collapses anyway, and then something takes its place. Something picks up the pieces, so to speak. What am I thinking about with this? Did I get this done? I'm yapping. Fun talks. I have fun with it. I just don't know what I'm allowed to like say. That's the only problem I have. 6 a.m. for me. It is 8 for me. I got an hour left in me before I gotta go. Well, a little less than an hour. I'll probably need like 15 minutes. Freshen up. Don't want to look sloppy at the service, right, Gradim? Don't want to look sloppy at the service. You can say whatever you want. See me drop the F slur on kick. But yeah, but I don't want to get banned from like Twitch just to like pull a funny on kick. I mean, maybe eventually, maybe if I'm not like dependent anymore, but like as it is right now, it's a pretty dependent situation. 9 for me. Oh, look at you, Demon Lord Gradim. Demon Lord Gradim, flexing his Utah, no, not Utah. What was it? Indiana? Indiana time zone. Everyone look at Gradim and look at his Indiana time zone. He gets to be at 9 a.m. already. Have a little humility, Gradim. You don't have to flex on us all the time. Now, what do I want to do here? I don't know. I'm not liking this area. I delete it. I mean, I actively did. Just noticed your normals are wrong. There we go. Alright. Been playing Albion Online. I haven't heard that name in a long time. I've decided to go with my original idea of never making an MMO. That makes sense. MMOs are kind of a lost. I don't think there's any like future for that genre of game. Not to sound super pessimistic. I wanted to do a real money MMO. I'm just saying my time since you guys were okay. Look at Gradim. Humble bragging is what they call it, Gradim. You're humble bragging right now. Oh look, they're sharing time zones. I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna tell them I have the Indiana time zone. Oh, that'll stir them up. You and your Indiana time zone, Gradim. You may have it now, but anything can be taken away. Don't get too attached to it, Gradim. You never know. You never know what or who might come to collect. Be nice. You're right. On a mini game series idea about a group of disabled kids. Sounds neat. Sounds unique from what I usually see people doing. Select. Separate. We're separating this so that it can be easily like pulled later. think this could be a little like thinner. I don't want to overwhelm you. It's just like stuff. There we go. Alright. Why are you like being weird? There we go. Hey Kotagi and Dispel, choose the game I'm gonna play because I'm bored. WWE 2K26, Baldur's Gate 3. Are those the only options? Also, is my thumbnail broken? What's going on? Why is it like that? But I think you should play some WWE, Gridian. You know, you're talking about going back to your roots. And I'd like to see you make some, you know, videos. I want to see some those WWE videos or streams. Would you like to hear a song and video I worked on today for 4 hours? I don't see why. Of course. To put it, I think you're in. Yeah, you are. There's like a little share channel you could like post it in, unless it's like a link to a video. Then, oh, that was weird. That explains why it was bugged out. But let me see this. I hope it's not like a naked woman showing me her breast. If it is, then I guess it's my own fault. Made me the OST.
Well, I met her when I was just a child. I know we were meant to be. Now that we are older, it's so clear to me that the universe wants me to be free. And I am here to say it's really not so gay to love a man when it's your best friend. It isn't like we've always been together. And now we touch each other.
hell did I just watch? I don't want to make you feel bad, but that scared me. I can't have that on my computer. That's scary. What was that? Beautiful? Man. W for playing it. I don't know, I'm scared. I'm not saying it's bad, but I am afraid. I am afraid of that video. Power of AI and editing. That video cost me $30 to make. I don't know if that was worth 30. I guess that would be worth $30 if I like knew. It's probably worth $30 to you. I'm just imagining that's like two like people that I know. Would I spend $30 to make a picture of Gradim kiss a picture of someone else? I might, honestly. I might. Oh yeah, that's my bad. I didn't see it, I was too focused on the video. Waiting for you to make your character, but you haven't set a time. That is true. Yeah, kind of sad, like when we agreed to do that, and then like like after that, like everyone stopped like hanging out. Not to make excuses. Like my assumption would just be, oh yeah, just whenever Gardim's around, just next time Gardim's around. Back in those days, people were around. They're two straight dudes who share a streaming channel. Well, I don't know why you had to specify that they were straight, because I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything in that video that would make me think otherwise. It's just you and two other people that hasn't made a WWE character, which is only pushing back my stream time. Alright, how about, no, you know what? And when are you usually around? 9 a.m. I need an image of Gradim. Do I have any pictures of Gradim? I have this gorilla. Alright. How about tonight? I mean, I don't know. I want a game dev right now. But you know what? I have scheduled for 9 a.m. on the 24th. And if that schedule doesn't work out, then I don't know. But I guess like 24th, that's like tonight as in later in this day, then yeah, sure. Then think about if you told me that you were like waiting on a stream, I would have not been so casual, you know what I mean? I would have not been so casual if I knew. You better not use any IRL pictures of me. I wouldn't. Kind of, you take me for a certain kind of person, Green. That is not me. That would be against my ethical code. Let's see if this is playable. I don't know. Select and set name, level. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna suffix dash call for collision. Over here, old buddy. Let's see how this works. All right. That felt, that felt, I don't know, like good tutorial, right? Good tutorial. Because I like my animosity. That's the. It mean anonymity. I know I shouldn't have said. Anonymity. Animosity is when you hate somebody. I don't think you like animosity. It'll be kind of cool once I like flesh this system out, I think. Like there's still some parts about it that I'm not too big on. I would like for it to be reliable. And know how to spell it. I mean, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. I do like that the system is like modular enough that the only thing we would theoretically have to replace is how we do ledge detection. Which admittedly that would be like pretty hard to do. Um so what am I thinking? Ah, Gary. You know, something I just noticed. Let me go in here. Yeah. I don't like when people hate me, as it fucks with my depression and anxiety. I don't mean to diminish your experience, Gurdine, but I do think I think it generally just fucks with people. You know what I like when someone hates you? When someone like I don't know what like I don't have any mental disabilities, but when someone hates me, that does fuck with me. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty normal to have a general aversion to being hated by somebody. In other words, I think you're in the clear, Gurdine. You don't have to worry. Wonder. Ooh, that's bad. Go back up here. Now for this one, you can't be running. Let's see if that helps it. Okay, that did kind of help. All right. All right, so now our, fast walk working. We can do 9 a.m., but it can't be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm fine with tomorrow night. And try to fit that in. Fit that in with what, you may ask? Why? Game devin, of course. My favorite thing. Perfect. Do you have anything to do after stream today? Yeah, I have to go to church today. And then, like, from there, after that, I'm not gonna lie, I've been awake for, like, a long time. At that point, I'm trying to go to sleep. I wonder why the thing's so, like, weird. Do you have church friends? I mean, yeah. You know, some closer than others. I said that like I hate some of them. I don't hate any of them. You know, it is what it is. I think I meant to do yes. So the reason I'm twisting these is to artificially make them look smoother than they really are. As you can kind of see. Some faces are working. E. Here we go. Okay. Kinda getting something. I'm just kinda starting to feel like I'm in a place, I guess. That makes sense. I'm on my 4th wind. 8 p.m. on Sundays, I have movie nights in a server with my IRL friends. That sounds fun. know. This is like I think for some reason this area up here is making me like think for the first time, making this game like okay, this could be a place, like a location. That makes sense. Would you ever change your name? I don't really see a reason to. I've been Coward for a long time. There's people that it used to be Coward Kotagi, but I shortened it. I don't know if I want to say why I shortened it. There's a pretty good reason why. Um, but I do prefer. I mean, if I've known someone forever, it doesn't matter, but I do prefer people calling me Coward. I'm not gonna lie, the absolute part is just so I can like find my own page when I'm like searching in YouTube. That's like that's the reason absolute is in front of it. It's just so I can find myself. Like I imagined the theoretical situation where I'm like trying to show my mom something I made, and I'm just like typing in the YouTube search bar "coward," like, looking stupid, like searching for myself. I wonder if I should make. Let's try some. Where's rotate forward? Here you go. Now, how would I make rotate forward? Hmm. How about after stream tomorrow morning? I can. It just depend on like I'll do tomorrow just whenever you're around. You know what I mean? Like I'm usually I'm usually available like in your time. What's your time? From like around 8 p.m. your time to you know, just from there forward is when I'm around. 'Cause my schedule usually, I'm kind of trying to change it, kind of not. My schedule usually is that I go to work and then I come home and I sleep and then I game deving until I have to go to work again. But what would this be? I don't know. We're gonna make a low called speed. And this is going to be. You already have velocity, like. Should really do that. Teleport. There we go. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, you're right. It'd be afloat. So dumb. What? Tomorrow 8 p.m. I got you. It'll be about 7 p.m. for me. Now, there you go. So you are going to be what? I need to like base this. When I do a clamp, do I clamp it? Your top speed is like 8, and at your top speed, I want you to be hitting pretty much. Yeah. I think we do a clamp. Yep. So the minimum I want it to be 0.1. Maximum I want it to be. I'm gonna say 1. You know, yeah. I think 1. It's important to make it 1, so that if you're on a really tight platform, you don't have to worry about like her turning and then it moves you in a way that you fall off. Sounds annoying to me. So. Now we're gonna wanna. Okay, so about 7. Yep. Gonna like, how do we put this on? I'm working on automating all image tags in WordPress. What does that look like? That makes me curious. Yeah. Negative. I'm using Gemma 4, a local AI. My bad. Local AI to read context around the embedded images and the image itself to write the alt tag. Just needs to be barely legally compliant with the ADA. ADA. Fascinating. Fascinating. About 0. Two point three. Somewhere it's like between 2.3 and like 7.5. Who should lurk? Seems lurk more reliable. Because right now all I can do is just like perfectly tune these numbers. So I'll throw it all the way in. Now, what is the walk speed? Need to define a walk speed. Now that'll be it'll either be 1. This is wrong. What was it? Alright, can you please just give me the right one? Please, just be a linter. There you go. Just be my linter. Yes. God, really? Where is my auto? Worst part is I did it right, and then it was wrong because I named the variable wrong. That's so dumb. Then if it comes to my Xbox friend, they call me Death Bro, as I used to be Lord of D Death Bro. I see. Getting some Gradim lore? Is that what I'm hearing? I'm hearing some Gradim lore? You put the lore in Demon Lord. Okay, no, something's going a little off. How though? I did it right, didn't I? What am I doing wrong? Lord of Death Bro, no added D, I see. Lord of Death Bro. Oh, I'm so dumb. That still doesn't work. I'm not sure why. Oh. I really like this song, like a lot. The bro at the end was because I was in a Halo clan and we all put bro at the end of our tag. Was it like a PewDiePie thing? I know you're ancient, Gridine. You're ancient Gridine. Oh well. We're gonna keep working on this tomorrow, but I do have to go, get ready and everything. But it's been very nice talking to you guys. This has been a wonderful stream. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed to have such good friends, such good buddies around with me. We'll be back later today. At what time? I'm not sure. It depends on how this WWE thing turns out. But yeah, everyone have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll see you later. Goodbye, buddies. Goodbye. Goodbye.